Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
I mean, what an incredible show this is. We started off with Ed Pulley, the owner of PhoenixProfessionalServices.com, and we had Brian Klein, the owner of FirstRespondAir.com, and we just had James Pham, founder and CEO of Enlight, who's rolling out all of these franchises everywhere. And thank you, too, for the feedback we continue to receive from our interview with the Green Power Ranger, Jason David Frank, and also Adrian Paul for the TV version. He was the one of Highlander. So let's get started with our next hero. Who can say at the age of 20 of their life that their life changed forever? Well, our next hero can, because as he was living in Dallas, Texas, where he auditioned for a new show called The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a role that changed his life. He is Steve Cardenas, better known as Rocky from the Power Rangers. You can reach him at StephenCardenaspr.com. That's Stephen, Cardenaspr.com. And, of course, we'll have the link on our website at Eliances, Eliances.com. Now, Steve, take us back to when you got that part and what you were thinking when you get the call that says, you're in.
Well, I mean, it was actually kind of strange because I had no aspirations to be an actor or anything like that. I was just a karate teacher. I was just teaching martial arts to kids. And they started talking about this show called Power Rangers. And I'm like, maybe I should check this show out and see what it's about. So I started watching the show and kind of became a fan of it. And then maybe a few months later, I heard an audition or heard about a commercial on the radio that said, hey, we're looking for new Power Rangers. So if you know how to do martial arts and gymnastics, you should come down and try out. We're going to be in Dallas this weekend. So I was like, wow, man, maybe I should just go see what this is all about. So I just went down and went to the audition. There was probably about 4,000 people in the parking lot waiting to try out for that part. And I just thought to myself, oh, my gosh, there's no way I'm going to get this part. And so I just went and did my audition. And lo and behold, like 2 days later, they called me back and they were like, hey, we really liked your audition. We want to fly you out to California to meet the producers. And I was like, wow, this could be real. So then I flew out to California the next day. I auditioned for Haim Saban and Shuki Levy, the guys who were the owners of the show. And, basically right there, they gave me the part. And they said, yeah, we got to start filming right away so you can't even go back home to Dallas. So they put me up in a hotel and had my clothes mailed out to me. And we started filming right away.
Wow. Were you just like in shock that night going to the hotel going, what just happened?
I was in total shock, I started calling all my friends too, and I'm like, hey, guess what? You're never going to believe what happened. And this is back before social media and internet and all that stuff. So I'm actually long distance calling all of my friends and telling them about Power Rangers. And, at that time, most of them were older, my age and didn't watch the show. So they're like, what's a Power Ranger? What's that? So, they were, but all in all, everybody's pretty excited for me. So, it was a very, very surreal, very strange experience.
Now, while you were on the series for a few seasons, you're forever in the great book of Power Rangers, and that's huge. What's it like, though, having an action figure of yourself?
Well, the first time I saw one of those at Toys R Us, I was pretty excited.
Did you buy them? Did you buy them all? I would have bought them all.
Face on an action figure is pretty crazy.
Did you end up buying them? I would have bought every single one there was there.
Yeah, I bought a few for sure. I still have them.
Gosh. What kind of projects are you working on now? What can you mention of the various projects that you're involved with now?
Yeah, sure. Well, most of my time is taken up right now doing Comic-Cons. I travel around on tour maybe about 40 weeks out of the year with Comic-Con, traveling all over the world, meeting fans and, signing autographs and things like that. So that takes up a lot of my time. But whenever I'm not doing those, I'll try to get a film in here and there. I just filmed a movie called the Enuate, which is a Native American word for some kind of a spirit that kind of guards this, this sort of artifact. And my character plays this corporate military guy who's like escorting these research scientists. And so I think you could kind of liken it to Predator. It's sort of like Predator. So it's a thriller horror kind of movie that's coming out. It'll probably come out sometime next year.
Incredible. And again, we're talking with Stephen Cardenas, who could be reached at StephenCardenaspr.com, known as Rocky. He is one of the Power Rangers. In fact, and we'll have the clip too at our website, Eliances.com, and you're listening with me, David Cogan, the host of the Heroes Show. Go to Eliances.com, Eliances.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. And Steve, you actually too, you owned your own studio and did balanced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yoga, martial arts in California. And as a master, I want to know, what are the 3 secrets that you could share, that you share with your students about that?
Well, one of the biggest things to remember when it comes to martial arts is that it takes a long time to perfect, any one style. So you got to really dedicate your time to it, So they just say a black belt is a white belt that never quit, Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things you have to remember is that, as you go through your peaks and valleys in your training, you can never give up and never get discouraged. And that's what most people end up doing is they end up quitting. So, that would probably be my biggest piece of advice is just to never give up, never quit.
And think of how many people you beat to be able to get that role. I mean, do you ever just sit back and go, wow, and how, and can it be?
Well, I try not to dwell on it too much, I was just super grateful for the opportunity. Again, a big portion of it is all being in the right place at the right time. But the other part of it too was, they had a specific skill set they were looking for, and I happened to have that at that particular moment in time. So, it's like, it's one thing to be in the right place at the right time, but you also need to have the right skill set as well too. So I think that's important. So if you have aspirations to be an actor or anything like that, you should definitely, take as many classes as you can and try to prepare yourself as much as possible so that when the audition does come for you, that you'll be as fully prepared as you can be. You know what I mean? And
it was a good thing that you heard that ad and took advantage of it and actually went there and did it. You have legendary fame, Steve, in the Power Ranger fandom and the tour with Comic-Con and various the circuits that you mentioned. If you were to talk to a group of fans, what would you want to share with them about growing up and being successful as you have? I mean, people think it's easy, and it's, we all know that it's certainly not, and the amount of hours that you spent and all the training previously that even went into being able to get that role at that time that you mentioned. But what can you share with us about being successful? What things can we learn?
Well, a few things. One thing that, to understand is that, it doesn't happen the way that it happened for me for everybody usually. You know what I mean? And what happened to me was sort of kind of a fluke thing, So if you really want to be, successful in the acting business, you have to be prepared for a lot of rejection, going into auditions and, not to take it too personally, when they don't call you back. Because there's a lot of factors that are involved when they're looking to try to find somebody for a part or a role. And sometimes if you can't hit all of those things all at once, you just say, all right, well, no worries, I got to move on to the next one. So just be prepared for a lot of rejection, and eventually, it's a numbers game. The more times that you go out there and put yourself out there, then the better you're going to give your chances to get out there and get a role, So that would be my biggest piece of advice for someone, is to just understand that something like this is not just going to be handed to you. And even though I got the role right away on that first audition, where my challenges came into play were learning everything on the job, because I had never had any acting stuff. So, and any acting practice or anything like that. So I had to learn everything on the job. So I had to work 3 times as hard as anybody else might have had to, that it took the time to prepare for a role ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Incredible. Well, I love it. Well, Steve, you inspire and entertain so many and continue to support others as a teacher and a mentor. Definitely a hero. Steve Cardenas, who could be reached at stevecardenaspr.com, the Power Ranger. And this is David Cogan with Eliances.
You have been listening to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups. To present your superpower, visit www.eliances.com.